Hello everybody, let's get to it today. We are going to learn how to apply the AI technologies of the world that we live in right now into our Twitch streams. And in this case, in this example, I decided to trigger a recording of a animated still image, right, generated by an AI. So there's 3 AIs that I worked with. There is one that generates a CGI image of a cybernetic woman. And then there's another AI that creates the voice based off of a little script that I gave. A little prompt, I guess. No, it's a script. And then the third AI is how to animate the still image. So let's get to it. All right, here's an example of how I use it. And I want to say thank you very much to Nutty for providing the widget. Now the widget tells you when
advertisements will be commencing in 3, 2, 1.
That's what the widget does. If you saw on the screen, you see the little yellow indicator at the bottom, and then you got that thing on the top. So shout outs to Nutty for providing that. Thank you very much for that. But see that there on the bottom there is the AI that I have worked with and did a little recording. Let's show what it actually looks like in raw video format because it's so small, right? So here you go. This is an amazing CGI image created by artificial intelligence Midjourney. All right, pretty impressive. I will show you the prompt in a second here. Now, bear in mind the AI that I used to animate the still image. You know, it's not there yet, right? That's why I shrunk it down and out of the way so you don't see the imperfections. It's the same AI that there's the same AI that was used, I believe, in Heritage, which is a family tree service where you can upload images of the deceased and see your great-great-great-great-grandparents or great-grandparents or grandparents or parents or brothers, whoever. You can see them animated, come to life, and I think it's the same technology. However, they go above and beyond by actually making them, you know, move their mouths. So this is what it looks like. Let's do that again.
Advertisements will be commencing in 3, 2, 1.
So as you can see, the technology ain't that great, right? You know, the mouth is just not quite what you want it to be. But the other thing too is, which is pretty impressive, the original image does not have her teeth showing at all. And her mouth is definitely closed. In the last frame of this animation, hopefully, no, Windows does not want me to do that. I'm trying to show you there you go. All right, so that's pretty much the image. And her eyes are a little off too, but that's okay because everything's shrunken down. You can't see it on Twitch. So there are these kinds of imperfections when it comes to the AI that animates still images, and also the AI that generates images. But pretty impressive, given that all you're doing is given a prompt to Midjourney, and they spit this out, right? So D-ID, I believe it's D-ID, is the AI that animated the image, and that's why you have their splash logo. The bottom left of the screen, which is another reason why I cropped this whole thing out. But hey, I believe you can sign up for their services and pay to play, all right? But until then, though, you can be as descriptive as you want with this AI generation. There are going to be some little abnormalities, like, for example, why is she sweating here? I mean, I never put that in the prompt, and it looks like the hair, the AI wanted to put this strand of hair, which it looks like it's good, works right here, but I suspect that it clipped through, and I don't know which one did it. Don't have the image with me to show you, but I don't know which one clipped that hair right through the cheek. I believe that's clipping, but you know, another artist can say, no, that's part of the cybernetic creativity, and that's why it's right there on the cheek. Yeah, I thought so too, but now that I look at the hair going right here, I'm like, you know what? Because look at this hair piece right here, it cups off. You see, and the ear is a little off too. Now that, you know, could be a combination of both, you know, Midjourney and D-ID, you know, and that's what you get. So some of this stuff might not look that great, but that doesn't mean that you can't use it. Obviously, you're here for a reason. So once you have, you know, the final recording, right, from D-ID, then you can put that into any editor software, size it down, and then put it into OBS as you see fit. I will walk you through the process on how to get an AI image and then how to get the AI voice Yes, there's various kinds of voices you can pick from male and female. And then how to put it into the AI, the D-ID AI that generates the animated 2D image. All right, so the first step, let's begin with Midjourney. You can go to midjourney.com and then join the beta down below. And that will give you access to the Discord. Follow any directions that they may have on Discord. I know I haven't done this in about a couple weeks, so I don't know if they say, oh, you have to do this or that, blah, blah, blah. And if you don't, fantastic. Go straight over to the newbies, any of these that say newbies in the channels. You can see people already start spamming like crazy that they want an AI image. And this is the prompt I use. You don't have to use this. There are certain keywords and certain prompt mechanics that kind of give you a certain aesthetic. I recommend you YouTube it. A lot of people say Google it. That's out. That's old. That's what I say to that. Screw you, Google. Even though Google owns YouTube. I say YouTube it. Go on YouTube. You'll find everything. That's how I found Nutty. So shout outs to Nutty. And so here's the prompt. Basically, it starts off with, and you can start off any other way, but I just copied whatever I found. Imagine a medium shot of a cybernetic woman, comma, captured with a Nikon D850. It's very specific. Right? Captured it with a DSLR, but you're specifying which one, including autofocus. I think that's what that means. I'm not too sure. The lens, the f-stop, you know what I mean? Like, apparently these things go that far, you know, to really create a certain look. But there are other parameters, other inputs that you can go in and use. You can even go and browse the ones that have been imported here, if there is any. All right, with the prompt. Let me see. I'll give you an example here. Here we go. Here's somebody's prompt. Woman jockey, equestrian, I don't know how you pronounce that, standing on one leg, lifting another leg over the horse to mount horse at competition. You know, and some words are missing, right? And the AI does a good job at just splicing it all together. Bam! And it creates that. Now, there is some shortcuts, right? So if you're not very peculiar on the lens and the focus and all this jizzy jazz stuff, you can just say at a location, you know, at the time of day, in style of 1990s movie by the director. Now, this is a big one. When you have a specific artist in mind, this is where it gets controversial, like a photographer, for example, or Picasso, right, or Rembrandt, right? You can say in the style of, or in the movie, you know, from the like this prompt says, from 1990s movie by David Lynch, bam. And so what it will do is it grabs all references to a 1990s movie and David Lynch, and it takes those images and it just composites those data points of those keywords, and it spits something else, like something that could come from those movies in the 90s by David Lynch. You get it? So work with that a little bit. Now, Midjourney, I believe, has X amount of times that you can play, right? You know, it's always got to be one of those pay to plays. So that website, midjourney.com, you can sign up. And, you know, I'm not going to do this right now, but you can go ahead and click around to see if they charge you a monthly subscription to do more prompts. But, you know, try to nail the first two, you know, to what you're really looking for. Because the moment you start spitting out more, the more, you know, the more, and the sooner you're going to get to a paywall, as we all know. Let's retake that shot. So you have to do / imagine, and then paste your prompt. All right. So this is what it looks like. There you go. The request has been sent. And now the engine is going to take its precious time to catch up with all the requests, maybe about 2 minutes or so. And you will be pinged when it is ready. All right. So the AI is done generating this amazing set of images. They gave you 4, and they are known as variation 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, in the order of it to be, I'm not entirely sure. Which is 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not entirely sure. So what you can do is remember your spot. You can always browse to your spot. And then just click 1 to find out which one is that. Okay, so we're going to pick, I'm digging this purple here. This purple is really good. Now, because of the animation process, all right, for the next bit that I'm about to show you, it might be advisable that you have a forward-facing image. So you're kind of limited to these two. Side profile images, I believe, are a little harder to animate, but it's much easier if it's just looking straight at you. I know, but experiment, try as you will. See if the, you know, side profile, you know, or angled image works best. But this is fantastic. So let's take a look at the prompt real quick again. A medium shot of a cybernetic woman captured with a Nikon blah 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 and a Nikon blah 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 lens, lit with high key lighting to create a soft and ethereal feel. A shallow depth field, AR-2-3. And this is what we get. That's fantastic, I think. And, you know, it leaves it to interpretation of what cybernetic means. And amazing. Amazing. So I dig the first one. So let's just hit V1 for variant 1. And now what it's going to do is that eventually it's going to spit out variations, I believe, of the first one. Or it's going to say, okay, here's the first one. And then it's going to ask you if you want to upscale it or add some other things to it. I believe, or I could be wrong. Probably it's going to, yeah, no, I think it's going to spit out 4 different variations of the first image, which V1 represents. There you go. Perfect. So let's go back up here because it's kind of important to know this order. I don't know at the top of my head here. But V1 seems to me that it represents the top. So V1, V2, V3, V4. I believe that's what that means, okay? So now that we've selected the one that we want, all right, it's now asking us now, you know, which one of these variations do you want? So now that we know that the top left is 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, there's subtle differences in the hair. So you want the hair slicked back, or do you want the hair crazy, or do you want to slip back over here with more variations, including, I believe, the eye is off colored here, and also the expression and the shape of the woman's face is also slightly different. There are also some cool effects going on to her head here versus this one over here. I personally like this one, but I don't like that it's too much in shadow. This one and this one seems a little more clear. So I'm gonna have to go with, ooh, this is a good one too. But for the sake of this example here, I'm just gonna go for the first one. So we're gonna choose the first one. I believe U represents upscale. And you're just gonna click on that, and what that's gonna do is gonna spit out it's gonna spit out a upscaled high resolution version of that image for you. And here we are. Our very first, well, my second, but your first maybe, AI generated image. And this looks amazing. Amazing how this all comes together. You can YouTube, as I say, screw Google. You can YouTube how all this process works. There's even possible illustrations and drawings and diagrams and what have you, and explaining the ones and zeros and all the programming involved in seeing this artificial intelligence picking up cues from the World Wide Web, the information superhighway of every point in reference of cybernetic woman, and smashes it together. Now, you know, some people can speculate and say, oh, well, it's a little biased, or it's a little racist, or it's a, you know what I mean? Like, why is it always, you know, fair skin complexion woman? Well, you can specify. You can specify race, ethnicity, age. You can do all that. But I think for the most possible references that it's got to work with seems to be, you know, fairly skinned women. Now, you have your image, right? Let's go ahead and save that. All right, so this is D-ID. I know I said earlier on that there are 3 different AIs. Now that I recall, it's actually just 2 AIs that I use. It is D-ID and Midjourney. D-ID creates the video, which it can use your saved audio clip of, you know, what other voice that you've used, or you can use its own AI to create a voice, and that's what I did. So we'll jump into that in a second. The other part is the image that was just created by Midjourney. You upload it here, all right? After you sign in, of course, you can, you know, sign into your Google account or what have you, and then you get access to all this. Just click on add your image, and then the script here, we are going to type in what we want it to say. In this case, because we're using it to give a warning about the ads, you say advertisements commencing in, and now this is where it gets tricky. A lot of these AIs don't understand how to pause and all that, and I'm not going to get into, you know, researching how to do it. So this is how I found out. This works almost every single time in every single voiced text-to-speech application I've ever used. So 3, 2, 1. So putting periods gives you those pauses, and if that doesn't work to the pauses that you want it to do, there's 2 other things that I can think of. You know, created another dot in between to space it out, or dare I say, go to post-production, video editing, edit, you know, the spaces between the numbers to space it out however you wish. So for now, though, we're going to try this first method first and see if it nails it. And now we're going to select the voice, which I believe it was the one that I used. You know, you don't have to use mine. I think it was Anna. I'm not too sure. Let me see.
Advertisements commencing in 3, 2, 1.
That is not her. Styles? What's this? Okay. Maybe it was Amber. Let's see.
Advertisements commencing in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, it's not her. Maybe it was oh, Jenny, maybe? No, you know what? I think it was Elizabeth. Yeah, I think it was Elizabeth. Here we go.
Advertisements commencing in 3, 2, 1.
Getting close. Maybe Ashley?
Advertisements commencing in 3, 2, 1.
No. Oh, here we go. Michelle.
Advertisements commencing in 3, 2, 1.
I believe it's Michelle. But Monica, maybe?
Advertisements commencing in 3, 2, 1.
Nancy, that's the one.
Advertisements commencing in 3, 2, 1.
That's the one, Nancy. Now, you see the way she pronounces 3, 2, 1, there's something off by that. So you can always experiment by adding a comma in between, you know, what have you. Now, this is just how I've been doing this.
Advertisements commencing in 3, 2, 1.
That sounds a little more smooth, right? That's what I did there. I just finish that sentence. Advertisements commencing in, period. Now, you could do probably semicolon and see how it pronounces that, but this is how I like it. This is what I'm going to roll with it. Now, from here, you should be able to generate video. And let's see, upgrade to your account doesn't have enough credits. Wow. Wow. It literally only gave you one. It only gave me 1 credit. So use it wisely. Re-roll your account by logging into another Google account if you want to do a second time. You're warned. 1 shot is all you get. Okay, so make sure that sounds good with the voice that you used, with the the enunciation and what have you. And if you like it, use your 1 shot. Okay. Now, once you're done, then you will have the video that I showed you in the beginning. This, all right, with audio, of course. All right, fantastic. I'm kind of curious how it looks. Okay. That sucks. Now, I wonder if maybe I can delete this other one. Here, let me see. Okay, so that's going to be Nancy. Can I delete her? Let's see, delete the library. And now let's see, does this count as... It does. Literally just 1 credit. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. I am going to sign out and sign in with a different account. All right, so I created another account. And this time, it should show what it looks like. And this is going to be, who was it? This was Nancy, right? I think so.
Advertisements commencing in 3,
2,
2, 1.
1. All right, here we go. Let's call her Nancy, even though I used the same voice for my first one, so they're both Nancy. Whatever. Nancy the blonde. Right, because she has blonde hair. All right, here we go. This is what it looks like.
Advertisements commencing in 3, 2, 1.
She got big chompers, you know? Those teeth. Right? It's not perfect. But you know what? Sizing it all down, it'll be fine. Just don't pay attention to those chompers. Now, like I said, this AI has to create teeth, right? It has to create what the space looks like in the mouth. You can even see a little bit of pixelation going on in that. I don't know if that's tongue or that's teeth. Maybe it's both. So it's got to create that. And then also when it blinks, like, how does it calculate that? What references does it pull? Maybe it just goes on the outside of the eye and just says, yeah, she's got eyeshadow on. So there it is. So that's not bad. That's the AI for D-ID. And the head is slightly moving, but you can see its imperfections, on the neckline here. So, but whatever, at least you have an animated character now. And that should do it. Save it, upload it to your favorite video editing software, you know, crop it out, you know, add some edges around it, maybe do some highlights. I'm going to experiment myself and figure out how to make this look like an awesome presentation when it comes down to letting your viewers know that an advertisement is about to begin. I don't know. It also lets me know audibly too, because I'm gaming and I have full screen on, so I'm not paying attention. And if I say something cool, I could give a good tip in Overwatch, and then suddenly this thing pops up like advertisement. Ah, man, I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna hold off just in case. Now be mindful though that apparently not everybody's gonna have an ad, even though the widget says it's gonna, you know, start. So yeah, I know that could be annoying, but at least now you know how to put in an AI in some form or some way into your stream. Enjoy.
No way.
You have to wait.